Anyway, someone was asking me if how true was The Sopranos to real life. It was and it wasn't. I agree with Michael Franzese that the 1996 movie of Gotti with Armando Sante is probably your most accurate depiction. Nobody, they don't sit around in a clubhouse cooking Italian food like that. I mean, maybe their grandparents did in the 1920s or 30s, where you all meet at a clubhouse and you use these strange Italian saying. All my friends were, some of them were in the life, and they had no idea what some of these names meant, and none of them spoke Italian either, or even tried to. In a real life, Tony Soprano would work like this. He'd probably have no contact whatsoever with his entire quote unquote crew. He would know of them, but the, the less interaction, the best. You'd see him in a work truck every day. He's an electrician or like in plumbing or something, classic shit like that. And you probably live next door to him. And you see that he's home all fucking day long. He's dressed for work. He's got the work car. He even knows a little bit about it. But every time you look out your window, his car is in the driveway. And he's just shooting the shit, just kicking around, dum de dum on his property. And he's never at work. All he does is take contracting gigs and has somebody else do it or something. But it's like that, and he doesn't seem to have a friend in the fucking world. Occasionally, you'll see other men over at his house, and you'll be like, that's odd. I thought that motherfucker didn't have a soul in this world. He's usually got a guy that he'll hire to help do his shit all day, but he just drives around all day, pretty much. The thing about The Sopranos is it feels like it takes place in the 1950s, because that's probably what might have been going on. But by the 90s, they were like third and fourth generation Italian Americans. They didn't speak Italian. I remember my grandmother could, but she never did. But I don't know how they did that in The Sopranos, where they took everybody's name, including people I went to school with I didn't even know I knew of them, and put them into a show like that, and nobody said a fucking word. I bet you everybody was. That probably explains the all the panic back in the 90s amongst these families. I know the FBI's watching me. I know that because these are all names of people I grew up with that are slightly altered, and you're like, oh, that's what's his name? That's you know, I would be careful. I mean, that's a delicate situation. You're talking about, well, come on, we can do it. We can do this. We can fuck with organized crime, can't we? It's like these families are still active back then, you know. I suppose you could, but I'm just surprised no one ever flipped the fuck out and entered an HBO building with a fucking with a fucking machine gun or a bomb and stop writing. And then the focus was all just on me for the next 10 years. And I'm drugged out and paranoid beyond belief anyway. I had such a good filter back then. I was able to turn shit off. It's like, oh, The Sopranos, get it the fuck off the TV. Oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm, get it the fuck off the TV. Oh, it's 6 feet under. I can feel the vibe a little bit. Get it off my fucking TV. You know. And then they make Girls, which could have been hot, but they put, I don't know. It's just like every that's a lot of TV shows. You think, I mean, how long are you gonna ride a gravy train like that? It's like, no, we're watching this dude. He's got a private investigator. It explains everywhere me and Summer went. There was a paparazzi everywhere. And she was telling me about it. She's like, this is gang stalking. This is what they do to me. I'm like, gang stalking? These people aren't in a gang. They're idiots. And then I figured out what it was, and it was true. Everywhere we went, there's somebody that doesn't belong there, and people following us. You couldn't even go to the the fucking mental ward because eventually the they'll send in a plant there too to go scope out what's happening in the mental ward so they can write about it. I'm so fucking sick of it. Just pay me to sit down and I'll tell you everything. Who'd you go to school with? What's your name? What happened today? And then they're there just making fun of you. But, nothing ever is ever nice. It's like, how could you bite the hand that fucking feeds you? I don't know. Thank God though that these things are biodegradable and they just disappear as time goes on. You know, as well as the actors do too. It's pretty sad. You'll see an actor and you'll be like, "Oh, that's the Dexter guy. That's the that's the other bitch," and then maybe they'll get another sitcom or go to another channel. But my favorite depiction was Shameless. I think they did excellent with that on Showtime. Me and Summer used to sit back and watch that shit, and it was happening as we would mention something a week before, and the next week they would have an episode on it. But we liked it. It was, it was like living at Van Branken, and somebody actually. I mean, Rosin was so fucking hot, wasn't she? So fucking hot. That little ass and those little titties. She's fucking gorgeous. Yeah, the Shameless was when they Americanized it. That's when they put me into everything, and I fucking loved it. I watched it every week, waited for it. I don't think that there was ever a sitcom, besides when I was a kid, watching Who's the Boss, waiting for Alyssa Milano. But I used to wait every week for it. That was my show. It was an accurate depiction of my life. And people always ask, well, which guy was you? Usually they'll show you in multiple characters. You'll see yourself in Little Carl. You'll see yourself in Frank. You'll see yourself in Steve Howie's character. You'll see yourself in Lip's character. They wrote us all in, but that was the most. That was the nicest one. Run my hands all over that Emmy Rossum ass. Entourage. Yeah, that's why I like Entourage so much too. It had nothing to do with me. Nothing. It had absolutely nothing to do with me, and I loved it. When I broke up with Summer, I was binge watching Entourage. I watched the whole fucking shit. So I couldn't get out of bed. Someone was in a really bad addictive habit of a really jealous, bad fucking habit of stalking me back then. Bad habit. They took everything I loved. Like HBO tried to turn it against me, tried to turn music against me, tried to hold up a fucking ugly funhouse mirror to myself. It's like, fuck you. Shameless was able to take me and Summer's ideas and my ideas and actually really turn them into good ideas, even to give imagery to ideas and shit. Like Steve Howie's relationship with what's her name, the black chick. That's based on Igor and his stripper girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? When they were on doing live webcam shit, that was me and Summer. We were gonna do that. We were gonna try to start out with like foot porn and fucking and chicks ironing and shit because there's money to be had in it. The next week that becomes an episode. How Lip is laying underneath the train tracks with his girlfriend and the train blows over him. That shit is just golden. Lip was like Nick. Fell in love with the Lip character. I'm like, Jeremy Allen White. There you go. And that's fucking Nick. That's so fucking Nick. But there's a little bit of me in there. He's got a robot fetish. He's into robotics. Mandy Malkovich is a combination between my sister Sandy and Summer. That's totally her. Joan Cusack. That's definitely fucking Renee. Yeah, there's like good ways to do things. I was always, as the years went on, that's probably why I gravitated towards Showtime. I mean, because do you think the corporate manager, the head of corporate at HBO would allow that? No, we can't do another TV show where you use this guy. He's gonna catch on, and it's not gonna be pretty. At least they probably went over everybody's head. If I was head of a corporation, I'd be like, all right, enough is enough. No more writing about this guy. He's gonna catch on. Might not be now. It might not be 10 years. Whenever this shit reruns, he's gonna catch on. We don't need some crazy lone gunman in a clock tower. But that's always the mo. That's always the mo of it. You can watch like season one, and then season two is usually when it starts creeping in, and by season three, it's going fucking ape shit. It's documenting your every move and everything you uttered in 2000 fucking one, and it's every scene, and it's just like, do they do this on purpose? They light the show on fire after around season two or three. That's what I want to know. That seems to be the case. You'll watch two seasons and get sucked in. You'll be like, oh, good, I can breathe now. And then here it is. It starts in slow and innocuous. And before you know, it's just a festival of shit, of self-deprecating shit you're forced to endure. And some of it fucking reminds you of shit you forgot about. The dude's in the house, trashing the house, and he knocked the lights out. That's me and Nick in our practice room. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that. We busted the lights out. We had to play in the dark for a week. I totally fucking forgot that. As if that's anybody's business. I mean, if it is this guy, you need to put down your fucking guitar and join the HBO fucking take up a corporate job at HBO. Jesus Christ, stay the fuck off that channel finally. Can I make a guest appearance? Can I be on this? Can I be on that? Jesus Christ, man. Join the fucking Actors Guild and give it all up and join the fucking circus. Can't rule the airways and rule everything else. It's annoying.